Overwatch is that one game that is just so unapologetically weird and quirky, you can't help but love it. And nothing proves this more like DOOMFIST. I mean, in a world with pulse rifles and guns capable of making black holes, Genji uses a sword and DOOMFIST just punches people. So today, the question I want to answer is just how plausible are DOOMFIST's powers? For those of you that are new to Overwatch, here's a quick rundown of his powers. He can punch upwards, punch forwards, punch horizontally, and my favorite of all, he turns himself into a ballistics missile. Okay, not really, but you get the point. He's very punch focused. So starting off with his rocket punch, at full charge this thing launches him forward 20 meters in a fifth of a second. That's 100 meters per second or 200 miles per hour. The issue with this is that accelerating up to these speeds this quickly means he is going to be pulling over 200 Gs. And considering it only takes around a constant 6 Gs to kill you, DOOMFIST is an absolute unit of a man. But what I want to know is just how powerful his punch is. I mean, we all know it's capable of one-shotting people, but this really doesn't tell us much. I mean, most people are able to kill people in one punch, and that's mainly because the human body is very vulnerable to trauma. But back to DOOMFIST, I want to know just how strong his punch is. I mean, when he knocks someone into a wall, it doesn't just leave a crack, but a micro crater. And in order to calculate these numbers, we're gonna have to use Overwatch's resident rulers, Lucio and Roadhog. The main reason Lucio is such a great ruler is because of his healing aura. You see, the ring around him is exactly 12 meters wide, making him perfect for calculating distance. And as for Roadhog, he's mainly there as a glorified paperweight. I mean, during the Junkrat and Roadhog cinematic, we see his cannon weight of 249 kgs. And with the power of these two combined, we're able to figure out just how powerful DOOMFIST is. At full power, DOOMFIST is able to launch Roadhog back about 12 meters in a fifth of a second. And this is because Roadhog is moving back at a constant speed. And that's because there doesn't seem to be any friction in this world. So for all of my calculations, I'm just going to assume that there isn't friction in any of it. With that in mind, we can determine that the speed that he is traveling is around 53 meters per second or over 118 miles per hour. In order to move Roadhog that fast, he would need to be applying over 300 kilonewtons of force, which is about the same amount of force you would feel if you drove straight into a brick wall at over 300 kilometers per hour. In order for this to even be possible, considering this hunk of man meat doesn't have nearly enough body mass to produce that kind of force, his gauntlet would need to weigh at least 133 kilograms or over 294 pounds. And that isn't even his biggest problem, because if DOOMFIST slammed into a person with that kind of force, he wouldn't just be pushing them back. No, my friend, he would be punching right through them. You see, if force is exerted over a large area, it really doesn't do all that much. A good example of this is when you're hit by a wave. The force of the wave is spread out over your whole body, and the result of this is that it's probably just gonna push you over. However, if you take the same wave and concentrate its force into a tiny area, it would be enough to probably tear you in half. Much like how a jet of water is able to cut through solid rock. Now, looking back at DOOMFIST, his fist is pretty tiny, much smaller than a car in fact, roughly only about 1,500 centimeters squared. And this force condensed into such a small area would impart about 124 megapascals of pressure, and that really isn't all that much, but in this case it would be enough to rupture all of your internal organs. But it wouldn't stop there. No, my friend, DOOMFIST's punch would probably rip you in half. So there you have it. DOOMFIST is probably the single most dangerous character in Overwatch, considering he literally has a weaponized car accident as an ability. And overlooking the amount of G-force he would be experiencing, he is a surprisingly plausible character, considering all the other wacky characters in Overwatch. But what do you guys think? If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, and until next time, stay awesome.